right, we are back once again.
Yes.
Thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you for the support. I just want to get that out right off the bat. Thank you
Yep.
everybody for supporting the channel, supporting Daniel and I. It's we're very grateful.
Yes.
And before going further, Daniel, I have a question for you.
Go for it. Shoot.
And this absolutely has nothing to do with what we're talking about at all.
Does it ever? Does it ever?
I
Go for
it. Okay. If you were to look at me and you were to I was to tell you I play a sport, what sport would I be? Where would you put me at?
Pickleball.
Fuck you, because that's what my coworker said.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Fucking pickleball. Whatever, man. It's a great sport. It's a great sport. Low impact. Whatever. Hey, that's a compliment.
Okay. First she said handball, then she said bowling.
Ouchtown population, you bro.
Bowling.
I said, okay. We were talking about it amongst ourselves. I said, okay, Bob, if you were looking at me, what sport do I look like I play? She goes, I don't know. And she goes, handball. And I'm like, handball? She's like, no, bowling. And I said, bowling?
Look at Ernie McCracken. A guy like Big Ern with his panache and style has clearly done for bowling what Muhammad Ali did for boxing. Wow. Take a look at that.
I said, out of all the sports, that's the sport that I look like I play. Bowling. I look like a bowler. I come home on a Wednesday night tired, and I go, no, just go. Me and the fellas are gonna go bowling.
Fucking the dude will abide, dude.
Oh man.
Oh my
I'm
god.
The dude.
Hey man.
Howdy do, dude.
I wondered if I'd see you again. Yeah, well, the dude abides.
The dude abides.
I love that. I love how like the sport that people can picture in are like doesn't leave ESPN the Ocho.
My name is Cotton McKnight, and with me as always is my partner in crime, Pepper Brooks. Cotton.
Like you're still like that's not even your main realm is like big ESPN.
Yeah, I love football. I was like, I think I look like a running back. I'm a little short, a little stocky. No, fucking bowler. I'm a bowler. Oh man,
I love that. I gotta prep for tonight.
Oh man, that makes me change. Look at my life more. I gotta like get in shape, man. Jesus Christ,
dude. Well, I mean, it's like you don't have the locks for lacrosse, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, I was like, okay, football, possibly. Soccer, I just don't think you would ever, because I don't like soccer. I used
to play soccer.
No, I know. Everyone used to play soccer. Like, that's the thing. Everyone used to play soccer. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. Hey, listen, I love pickleball. I got to take you one day, and we can school all those 80-year-olds playing it.
All right, I'm a pickle. All right, so now I have to accept my fate as I just have to play old people games.
Bro, it's a sign of the times, man. It's a sign of the times. I feel old. I get up and it sounds like I stepped on bubble wrap, and it's just my joints.
Jesus, you know. All right. Well, now I got that out of the way, which
shit, but sorry, pole vaulter. Like, get the fuck out of here. You know?
I mean, I know I'm not getting on the track and going up against Usain Bolt anytime soon, but all right. So, and to keep with our channel, this actually has to do with our channel. Trump vows to release records on the Kennedy assassination, RFK, and MLK assassinations. Wow. President told security agencies to develop plans to make public all documents related to the assassination of the Kennedys and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. he uh, yeah, he said it on Thursday to develop plans to release all government records related to assassinations. Mr. Trump made a similar vow. This is what got me too, because he made a similar vow to disclose remaining documents related to the killing of President Kennedy during his first term, but he ultimately agreed to some redactions at the behest of the intelligence agencies to protect sensitive
Oh
information
man.
like the names of CIA assets, intelligence gathering methods, and partnerships. So, since returning to office, Mr. Trump has said he no longer considers such redactions to be valid and wants everything related to the president's assassination, the assassination of RFK, and the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King
Oh.
to be released. He also
so
ordered
like
agencies huh?
so
What's that?
unredacted, like with
So
no black lines.
unredacted. So he's
Holy
saying,
shit.
okay, the first time I get it, well, whatever. This time, no, we're putting everything out there. It's all gonna come to light. What do you say? He also ordered agencies to develop plans to release papers related to the killings of Senator Kennedy and Dr. King, which were not covered by a previous disclosure law focused on President Kennedy. So this is supposedly, this is not, I'm not holding my breath, but
Yeah.
supposedly he's saying this is going to happen. So that the
Man.
wheels are turning. The wheels are turning.
Holy
Some
crap.
conspiracies might be debunked.
Dude,
Possibly.
what a time. What a time. I heard something. Um like I think it's like the grandson, is it the grandson of Kennedy? Or the would it be a great grandson? I'm not
No,
sure.
it'd be a grandson. It'd be a
It'd be a
grandson, right?
grandson
Yeah.
of Kennedy is finding issues with this. He's finding issues. Obviously they think it's like for political gain, whatever. But I'm like, bro, it's like the Kennedy assassination, as weird as it sounds, it's more than just the assassination of President Kennedy. It's like, did our government have a hand in deleting a president?
There's
Like
a
that's
lot of moving parts in that. There's
yeah,
a
like
lot
that.
of moving parts in
Like
that.
that's the issue. Like that's the big thing with the whole issue. It's like it's unfortunate, right, that your granddad took one to the head. I get that, but it's like who and why? That's the biggest issue. It's not trying to make the grandson relive his. I don't even know if he ever met his grandfather. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
no. No. I
so I'm
never,
like,
never did.
I'm just like, dude, like this,
I'm
it
pretty
just
sure he never.
has
I
to be
don't say he
done.
did it, but I'm pretty sure he didn't.
I really didn't know that there was a file on MLK.
Yeah.
I did not know that. I did not know he was like embroiled in anything. It
Oh,
wasn't.
this conspiracy thing. Okay, so that's one thing. I always wanted to do a story on JFK. I find the conspiracy theories, the whole story. I find that interesting. Um, the movie about the movie JFK, the Oliver Stone movie. I've seen it. I could watch that over and over again. I know the ending is the same. It's not going to change anything. As much as I'm like, come on, they gotta get Oswald. Where is he? Um, you know. So it just interests me. I find it very interesting. So I kind of pumped up. I want to see where this is going to go.
I like you. I will not really hold my breath. I will wait for things to actually come out, right? But it's definitely definitely a huge wheel that is turning, and I
Yes.
feel like this is huge, man.
Yeah.
It's a big thing. I didn't know that there was a conspiracy out there for his brother,
Yeah.
right? I didn't know that
Yeah.
there was a conspiracy for that. Weren't those the two guys that Marilyn Monroe was banging?
Yeah. Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
Right?
They were competing for her. Yeah. Or she was.
Yeah, or something. And I'm like,
Yeah. But I mean, I guess if you're gonna go down that rabbit hole too, I kind of find like, okay, well, I understand why they had to,
yeah,
put her down.
it comes in threes, right? It's like,
Yeah.
hey, I get it.
I
It's
get
like,
it. Yeah.
what are we gonna do with these magic bullets? Like, well, there's, I don't know.
You got these magic bullets, they can do anything.
Yeah, they can do anything. They only work in threes, though. Okay.
Right, yeah.
Got it. No, but so I didn't know that. I'm like really excited to see what comes out about either MLK and Robert Kennedy, right? Because
Right.
I don't know too much.
So
JFK I knew, like,
uh-huh.
not in depth, not in depth. I knew, like, okay, controversy, conspiracy. I get that, but I didn't know about the other two.
So what I and we they had to we have been some we've been talking a little bit about it on the channel stuff. Some comments that I've seen going by. I think that it would be a pretty good idea to read the documents a little bit, go through them on the channel whenever they do become available.
Yeah,
You
or do
know?
something special, like a breaking news
Yeah,
live.
definitely. Yeah.
I think that would be really really good. At least dedicate one per person, like one live per person as it comes out. I think that would be cool because I think
Mhm.
it's about to get flooded. Like I know that these files are probably not thin. These are probably like books of. It's not like a sheet of paper. It's not
No. This
like
is going to be
and Kennedy
it's
got one
going
to
to
the
be
head.
pretty in depth. It's going to be pretty deep, and I'm pretty sure Kennedy's is probably going to be the thickest one.
Yeah,
MLK is going to be up there. It's going to have quite a bit of reading to do, and so is RFK. But yeah, I think Kennedy is going to be.
I
I
think.
think that's one that everyone's like, yeah, we want to see what's going on with that.
Well, I
We
want to.
really want to see what happened to all of them, but Robert Kennedy could be. But is it the MK Ultra could be associated with that as well?
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Robert Kennedy could be MK Ultra kind of stuff, like territory.
Yes. If
Wow.
I'm not mistaken, yeah. So I don't want to like speak before, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Well then okay, then how about this? We take everyone on a journey because I didn't even know that.
Oh,
So we
yeah.
should at least do something about MK Ultra and then RFK and then I
Yeah.
mean
Because,
I didn't know
that's right.
and then lead up to the release because I think they have like what 30 days to do it to comply
I think
with
so.
releasing it.
Yeah.
So,
So
you
it's
know,
going to probably be a couple months before we start seeing anything official start coming out with that. So yeah. So Robert Kennedy, that was his brother. He got assassinated, and they were saying the person that assassinated him could have ties to the MK Ultra.
wow, okay.
Mm.
Okay. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy. The
So I mean,
plot
like
thickens.
I said, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things going on. Same thing with Martin Luther King. They were saying, there's like little conspiracies about that, who actually shot him, why they shot him, and stuff like that. So, we're gonna. Oh man, I can't wait. I can't wait. This
Dude,
is actually getting me
it's
pumped
gonna
up.
be juicy, man. It's
Yeah.
gonna be juicy. Once it comes out for damn sure. Like, dude, like it's huge. It's a huge moment. Like
Honestly, I never
because
thought this would happen.
because it's like that takes one of the biggest conspiracies off the table. Like
Maybe it could even make it bigger.
it could have been
It could
Bigfoot.
actually even make it bigger.
Yep. Yeah, JFK was DB Cooper. Like
Oh
what?
my gosh! Oh, he's like living in. He could be
With
living
with
in
his
Argentina.
$2,000, he bought himself the presidency. No, but yeah, no, I can't wait, man. I think it's gonna be exciting. I think if we do it right, we do a lead up to it. I think that'd be freaking
Yeah,
glorious
we
because
could touch on each one of those assassination.
yeah, because I know the bear. I don't like I told you, I'm oblivious to the other two. JFK, kind of familiar myself
Mhm.
with that story, but the other two, I no idea. Didn't know they were conspiracies. So that's exciting, man. The world we live
Oh,
in is
yeah.
changing for damn
This
sure.
channel, yeah. Just so stay tuned. Stay tuned. And again, thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, do all that good stuff.
Yes.
If you enjoying these, you have you want to leave a comment about anything, story something that you heard, or maybe as we go through some of these stories, a theory that maybe that we didn't mention.
Yeah.
or that maybe you want us to expand on. Just drop a comment. Just tell us.
We're here with you guys.
Yeah, this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. All right. So anyway, again, welcome back, everyone. Now we're getting back to the show. Welcome back, everyone, for another mysterious episode of the Av Files. I'm your host, Av. And Daniel from the Wrecked Nation. What's up, Daniel?
What's going on, man? It's all is good. All is good.
Yeah, so for the first 15 minutes of the show, I had to just get that off of my chest.
Yeah, no, it's all right. It's all right. It's great news. It's pertinent. And
apparently I'm not an athlete.
No, it's all right, man. Dude, listen, I bet you rack up those pins. Awesome.
Oh man, yes, I cut the grass very well.
Yeah. Oh man. But look, it's good to be here. Pretty crazy week, pretty hectic week. It's been insanely cold. I'm fighting a cold. And everything. I don't know if I mentioned this last episode, but I was able to rip my channel back to life. Which was glorious. So that's my own little conspiracy theory about what happened and how that worked, but that'll be
they were trying to shut you down. We can't
shut me down. Yep. It was funny because the channel disappeared and it was only all right, if I can real quick, 3 seconds. My channel disappeared overnight, right? I woke up to no channel and no one could, it was gone. It was the whole YouTube channel was absolutely gone. I reached out to Google and YouTube, and one of our subscribers here had more information than I did. Allie was able to find out more information about channel than I could.
Shout out to Allie. Thank you.
Yeah. Because she was a member on the channel. And so they automatically sent out an email to all the people that were members of the channel, right?
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And that it was paused, that the membership was paused, right? So she asked Google why stuff was paused, and they gave her a bunch of BS, but pretty much saying that the channel was paused. I'd never paused it. Something happened on their end where it paused the channel. And what happens when you pause a YouTube channel is it privates all of your videos. Your channel is pretty much dead, hidden until you pry it out of their hands. So it ended up being like a glitch, right? But it was pretty detrimental to the channel because
it was a glitch.
Yeah, pretty much. Like no one knew why it was privated. I didn't private it. Someone else did. Because if I privated, I could go back to the channel and revitalize it at any time. I could bring it back at any time. That wasn't the case with Arius in the Nation. And pretty much if that happens, it slits the throat of any channel. Because what happens is it takes all your videos down, it privates everything. And I got back up and running with I think 3,000 less subscribers.
Oof, man.
And they just disappeared. Were they ever even there? Who knows?
Oh, maybe they
will they ever even miss me?
We're gonna have to make episodes about that.
Yeah, but anyway, man. So I got all that stuff fixed, and we're all good to go. We're moving full force, but dude, it's been a hectic little man. This January has been crazy.
Pretty crazy, huh?
I'm like
everywhere.
What
declassifying of assassinations, channels getting silenced for some reason or another. What's going on, guys? What is going on?
Dude, it's only the 24th of January. Let's make it to February, man. Like, Jesus. Anyway, I was like, are you not entertained? Anyway, what do we have, man? What do we have?
That's the whole show. No.
And that's it. And that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. No.
All right. So, okay. So what do we have lined up for today? On today's episode, we will dive into the frozen wilderness of Antarctica. Where temperatures drop to life-threatening lows and the sun disappears for months. Life is anything but ordinary.
Ice? Ice? You mean winter as in ice? You mean winter as in igloos and Eskimos and penguins and ice? Where you going? I'm going to take a hot bath. I'm getting cold just thinking about all this ice.
Amidst this stark, unforgiving landscape, a mystery unfolded in May 2000 that continues to baffle investigators and fuel conspiracy theories. This is the story of a man named Rodney Marks. Didn't you bring me this story?
Yeah,
Or
I
didn't
did.
you mention it? Yeah,
I did.
Daniel brought that to me. He
I
was like, "You
saw
got to
it.
check this out."
I saw it, and
Yeah.
it was one of those things where I'm like, interesting. And then I was like, I know Av was gonna do Av stuff and go into it, you
Oh
know,
yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm like, the story on the outside looking in is like, huh, I didn't know that. I never heard of this guy, never knew this thing even happened. And it's kind of like I gave it to Av. I was like, check this out. It's kind of crazy. And it's like the Russian nesting doll of
Oh,
things.
it's very crazy. It's very crazy. There's a lot of things that happen, and we did dive in. I did dive into it.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah. All
So
right, man. Let's do it. Yeah.
yeah, a brilliant astrophysicist whose untimely and unexplained death at the Amundsen, and I think I'm saying that correctly because I was looking it up because I'm like, the hell's that? It's Amundsen Scott South Pole Station remains one of Antarctica's most enigmatic cold cases. Rodney Marks, he was a brilliant Australian astrophysicist. He was a man whose intellect and adventurous spirit led him to one of the most extreme and remote places on Earth, Antarctica. Born on March 13th, 1968, Marks had a passion for unraveling the mysteries of the universe, which eventually earned him a prestigious position with the Smithsonian Astrophysical Observatory. Marks also earned his PhD in physics from the University of New South Wales. In 2000, at the age of 32, Marks joined a team of researchers at the Amundsen Scott South Pole Station, where he was tasked with observing the heavens through an Antarctic sub-millimeter telescope and remote observatory. These telescopes was uniquely positioned to study sub-millimeter wavelengths of light, free from the interference of atmospheric moisture, thanks to the frigid and dry conditions of the South Pole. The Amundsen Scott South Pole Station is a harsh and isolated environment. You can only imagine it's the South Pole.
Yeah, I mean, it's Antarctica.
Right. Yeah, like nothing polar bears, I think, or even penguins.
No, not even. I think it's just penguins.
Is it just
Penguins
penguins?
and Kurt Russell. That's it.
Yeah. That's what happened. So where temperatures can plummet below minus 100 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 73 Celsius during the long winter months. The station operates in near total darkness for half of the year, with no way to evacuate personally during the winter season. So it's like once you're in there, you're in there.
Yeah, there's no relief. Like,
yeah,
you're stuck in.
You're stuck in because I mean, I'm assuming only because of the way they explain it, the way they make it sound is trying to go in there to get anybody out. Winds, gusts and winds are whipping around all over the place. It's snowing, it's blinding. You probably couldn't see anything. A helicopter goes in there, it's probably going down. It's going to kill everybody on the helicopter.
Yeah, yeah. You probably have select like time frames to go
Right.
in. Like, okay,
Right.
springtime isn't bad, or maybe this week in summer is not bad, so we're gonna send out a ship or some shit like that. Like,
it's like 6 months that you're stuck there basically. Okay, because I'm assuming the crosswinds trying to fly in and out would be horrible, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
All right, so the tight-knit crew of about 50 individuals formed a small, self-reliant community, relying on each other for companionship and survival. So, I guess there's some women there, maybe.
I have no idea, man. Like, is it my thing is I thought like the research station, I'm guessing it's not a military base, obviously. It's more of a research
Like a
center,
facility,
which means yeah, so that's
anybody.
that's
Yeah.
everyone, right? It's like co-ed, I'm assuming.
Some sort of, things
all this
happen.
stuff.
Things happen. It's just human nature. Whatever.
Yeah, it's you're stuck for 6 months. I
Right.
get it.
Whatever happens at the South Pole
Excuse me.
Station stays at the South Pole Station.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. But that's interesting. I mean, so was this the I know a couple countries have bases there. Not bases. I should stop calling them bases. Facilities there.
Headquarters. They do.
Right?
I believe. I do
Headquarters.
believe they share the area. I don't, because then
Okay.
it would be like
Okay.
it'd be like a town. You know, you have a bunch of different.
Like mini
Yeah,
USA,
everyone's got like
mini.
fences around each other. No, it's not like that. I
Yeah.
believe it's like one huge facility, and everyone just kind of shares it. I think I do say. I think I do
Okay.
mention that in here. So we'll
Okay.
figure it out.
Okay.
March was well liked by his colleagues, known for his humor, intellect, and love of music. He often entertained the team by playing the guitar and engaging in spirited discussions. Despite the isolation, Mark seemed to adapt well to the challenging conditions. Mark's connection to the station grew even further when he met a woman, Sonia Walter. Uh-oh. This is where it
Whoa.
happens, see?
Uh-oh.
Meet a nice lady in there. Hey, you're gonna come to my little igloo, heat things up.
Oh man. There you
Yeah.
go. He's like, hey, where are you
Yeah.
from? You're not from around
You
here.
come here often? I wonder if they have like they train like the penguins, you know, like the little butlers. Yeah.
Happy yeah.
Do they
Exactly.
is it kind of like, I wonder if it's kind of like Star Wars. They have like the little cantina. They have like the little penguins playing.
You know what? I only imagine weird shit about Antarctica. Like I feel like that's the last frontier,
Mhm.
dude. Like, I mean, it's just so inhospitable. I out of all the things on my bucket list, going to Antarctica or seeing Antarctica is not on it, ever will be, period. Like,
Dude, that's
leave
that's the
it
one thing
there.
on my other list. It's like never want to do. Go to
Yeah, yeah.
Antarctica.
The anti-bucket
Yeah.
list. Anti-bucket list. Exactly.
All right. So, who had also been working at the station? The two grew closer, eventually becoming engaged. Walter sought residence at the station at the same time as her now fiance, and the two alongside other sorry, and the two alongside over colleagues got ready for the long dark winter. So they all
Okay.
got ready. It's going to be a long 6 months in the dark. So again, it's no sunlight. That problem is hard to do
Man.
for people. I can only imagine it's dark all the time. There's no light.
That's I mean, that's a huge thing because I know in Alaska, in some of their military bases in Alaska, they have to have UV lights in soldiers' barracks and soldiers'
Mm,
rooms because it the body needs
right,
that shit to stay sane. Like you need the vitamin
right.
D,
Okay.
right? And I wonder if that's the same protocol. I'm assuming it
Well,
is,
yeah,
or maybe it
I
wasn't
was gonna
then.
say because
Like,
it's 2000, so I'm sure they had some of the same things going on. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I don't want to
yeah.
say that it's not a military base, but I'm want to say that they probably had some form of security, maybe military style ish, there with them
Well, well, it's definitely a
because it's
either a
government.
government funded
Hmm.
operation or it's a NGO, like a not like a whatever it is. NGOs are was it
Hmm.
non-government,
Okay.
but it's like big corporations, big organizations run these things. They usually have protocols, strict protocols, usually top secret shit like that. So I think they would have to have like anti sewer slide things in place when it's six
Right.
months.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, um, yeah. And I didn't mess that
No,
word up.
no, that
I
word
did that
actually, if you're able to
intentionally.
play it backwards and then it comes out normal.
Yeah.
Uh, but
So
beneath the surface of this tightly controlled environment, a tragedy was brewing that would cast a long shadow over the station's history. Winter was in full force, shrouding the Scott Station in darkness that would only end months later. But the critical scientific research needed to continue unabated by the weather. On the 11th of May 2000, it said Rodney Marks was walking between the remote observation of the station and its base of operations. He's walking, I guess, going from one building to another, or walking
okay.
in between them, right? In a matter of moments, he began to feel strangely unwell. His breathing became labored, complaining of nausea. with abdominal pain, and his vision was becoming blurred. Worried, he visited the station's medical doctor, Robert Thompson, thinking he had a bad case of food poisoning or viral infection. But over the next 36 hours, he would visit the doctor 2 more times. The next
Wow.
day at 5:30 a.m., Marks awoke to the horrifying realization that his symptoms had not only persisted but worsened. He began to vomit blood. He experienced great pain when moving his muscles and joints. His eyes had also become excessively sensitive to even the low wattage light of the station's bulbs. So it's I in a way I want to say it's like he had a concussion
Yeah,
because
I
like
mean, wow.
lights were giving him a headache. He's throwing up, but I
Throwing
mean
up
it's worse.
blood.
You're right. Yeah, he's throwing up blood.
Jesus.
He's not just throwing up. He's like throwing up blood.
Yeah, that's
He's hurt everywhere. So like, what's going on, right?
so he's just seemingly fine. He gets back, and the thing is, he's seen the doctor a lot in that short time span.
Right.
He's seen the medic frequently. I would call that frequently. In 36 hours, you see the doctor 3 times.
Right. Yeah, I haven't seen the doctor in like 10 years.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Okay. So something's wrong, and everyone knows something's wrong.
Well, something's wrong. Yeah, and I'm sure people are probably like, oh, he's just sick.
Yeah.
They're not sure exactly what is wrong yet.
Well, what do we do?
Why don't we just wait here for a little while?
So anyway, so the light bulbs were he was sensitive to the light. Sorry. He was sensitive to the light, right? So he had to actually go around. He started wearing sunglasses because the lights were just too much for him. And the lights weren't that bright. So
yeah,
obviously that's a weird factor right there, right? Panic-stricken, Marks made his second visit to Dr. Thompson. His diagnosis was that Marks was experiencing a panic attack, and the treatment was the administration of a sedative injection, allowing Marks to get some well-needed rest. I mean, again, doctors telling you you're probably having a panic attack. It could be because of where you are right now. Just give him a sedative, calm him down. He needs to rest.
Worst doctor ever. Oh, you're throwing up blood? Why are you panicking? Here's a sedative. Holy shit.
Yeah. What doctor was this?
Yeah. Oh my God. I think my father in his country went to that doctor. Is that my grandfather? Like, my God. You're throwing up blood?
Was this a
Go back
German
to work.
doctor?
Jesus.
Dr. Klaus?
Yeah, he's throwing up blood. You're obviously it's a panic attack, bro. Here's just lay down.
Calm down, won't you?
Yeah. Wow, man.
So this notion, however, would prove fruitless. Hours later, Rodney Marks returned to the doctor for the third time.
Wow.
And final time. Dr. Thompson then administered another injection to his patient, one dose with the antipsychotic known as Halidol. Halidol, its official name is, oh man, I don't even know if I can, halopriadol.
There you go.
Yeah.
Knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Mark regard that one.
Yeah, just straight up own it if you don't know the name. Just halopriadol, obviously.
Halopriadol.
Yeah, there it is.
So that treats, this is weird. Okay. The doctor gave it to him. It treats schizophrenia and manages tics and vocal outbursts if you're diagnosed with Tourette syndrome.
Cock! The Black Jackal, karate kick, power force, and bendable neck. Asshole! Cock! Shit! Dumb shit!
It can also treat behavioral issues among children. This medication comes in a tablet form that you can take by mouth with a glass of water as directed. So it's a pill, basically.
Okay.
And you can have it in a pill form. I guess but I mean, I thought it was weird that you're giving him this. You're giving him this for schizophrenia.
Yeah, like he's not feeling good. He's having like vertigo and light sensitivity issues, and you're like, he's obviously schizophrenic. Like,
right.
What?
Right. That to me was like, I was kind of like, I don't know, man, and he doesn't have Tourette's because it's supposed to help with Tourette's and behavior issues with kids. So I mean, to me, it's like a, what do you call it? If they have like ADHD or something.
I don't think throwing up blood is Tourette's. I thought
No,
it was cursing
no.
because maybe I need to redefine
I
Tourette's.
mean, it sounds like he needs a priest.
Maybe a tick is just throwing up blood, which is fucking terrifying.
Oh, so Thompson would later testify that such medication was necessary due to Mark's erratic and panicked state, which, I'd hit the bullshit button on that because I'm like, he's not panicking, he's sick.
Yeah, he's throwing up blood. Give him a break.
Yeah, he needs something, But 45 minutes after this treatment, Marks experienced a severe cardiac arrest from which he did not recover.
Yo, asshole! This motherfucker's dead. Ain't no Chris Angel mind freak David Blaine trapped all horse shit jumping off here. You sure? Oh yeah.
Despite Dr. Thompson's best efforts, Mark's condition deteriorated rapidly and he collapsed. Mark had visited the doctor 3 times, and by May 12th, he was dead, leaving the station community in shock and mourning, to say the least. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, in 36 hours, a little over 24 hours, 36 hours, one person visits the doctor 3 times, and after the 3rd time, he's dead.
Huh. Interesting.
Like, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
But dude, you know what happens is like when you're in a small group like that, because I know they don't send out thousands of people. That's a huge chunk. Like it's not like there's a team of astrophysicists that go out, right? It's like he was the astrophysicist for this expedition.
Well, yeah, there was 50 people at this place.
Yeah, so that's a big. You're down 1. That's okay.
So this is definitely the thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is test his blood.
Yeah, right.
Test his blood. Put
was
some
there
heat
a
on his
dog
blood
into the into the station?
Yeah. Anything. That's just like test his blood. If I'm going to Antarctica, I want to know everyone. Like, hey, listen, I know it's a movie, but just for shits and giggles, we're going to test everyone's blood with a hot needle. Like,
and please do not bring any animals.
Yeah. And we're going to have color coordinated jackets with your name on it, period. There's not going to be any misidentification here. Okay.
No, none. Given the isolation of the South Pole during winter, his body was stored in a makeshift morgue until it could be flown out 6 months later when the weather improved. So he passed away. They had to keep him on ice,
Yeah, I mean, which is easy. Just throw him outside.
Yeah, they just like basically just stuck him outside.
Yeah, just like cover him, get a tarp, and
just gonna put a tarp, just put a flag here so we know where he is, and we'll dig you out in 6 months.
That's so cool, but I that's a pretty good pun too. But like it's but it's kind of like you go there. We don't have a morgue. We don't have a freezer. It's like, bro, outside.
It's morgue. Like minus 100 degrees outside.
Yeah, like go put them on ice.
Literally.
Where are we gonna find enough ice? Like outside.
We're sitting on a humongous block of ice.
Yeah.
So the harsh Antarctic climate restricted movement of Mark's body from the station to the mainland. Planes could not land or take off in the exceptional blizzards that were cold enough to freeze the engine fluid in a matter of moments. Thus, an autopsy was not immediately performed, and Mark's body remained in frozen storage for the entire winter period. When word eventually leaked to the wider world, which was basically everybody else that wasn't in Antarctica, about his death, the National Science Foundation released a statement saying that Marks had apparently died of natural causes, but the specific cause of death has not yet been determined. They're just trying to put out a fire.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just that's a blanket statement.
Yeah, 100%. It's a weird death that happened. They don't know why because they can't do an autopsy on him.
Yeah.
So they just said he had a heart attack and he died.
Yeah, that's as much as we can figure out right now.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So when the weather finally improved, Mark's body was finally transported to Christchurch, New Zealand, for an autopsy. The results were both shocking and perplexing. The autopsy revealed a startling conclusion. It had not been an aneurysm, as some had first suspected, but Rodney Marks has had died from acute methanol poisoning. Now, methanol is a toxic form of alcohol, can cause severe damage to the nervous system and organs if ingested. Marks had ingested a dose of approximately 150 milliliters, enough to fill a small wine glass. The initial analysis of Marks' body came simultaneous with the original theory that Marks had distilled his own alcohol and accidentally poisoned himself with methanol. He had apparently been known to be a heavy drinker, and there were no immediate signs of that foul play may have been involved.
Methanol.
Yeah.
Yeah, and oh, by the way, it was a cardiac arrest, not aneurysm.
Well,
So
right, but right, they were
yeah.
saying, that's what happened to him when he did die. He did have a cardiac arrest, but they were trying to say that,
it was an aneurysm.
right, they were trying to say it was an aneurysm, but it wasn't.
Got it. Okay.
Uh,
Okay. So he basically went down. So
right,
all of
yeah, 'cause
his
I'm sorry, yeah, because I even said the autopsy revealed the conclusion it had not been an aneurysm.
Yeah.
They thought it was, but it was not.
Got it. So methanol. So he was drinking out of his toilet. He's making moonshine out of his toilet,
He's making some hooch out of, like they do in
which in
when
prison.
you're locked up.
Yeah. Yeah. Like hear me out though. Like, okay, whatever. I'm pretty positive that alcohol down there is pretty regulated. I feel like it is. Especially when there's 6 months of no sun. I'm pretty sure,
Mhm. Yeah.
that could be a downer for a lot, and you don't want to have excessive alcohol because that's a downer too. So I get that. You make your own feel good juice. But that's insane. Like, I feel like you would know the difference maybe of just ethanol, like a very, I don't know if you could you accidentally drink a wine glass full of ethanol? Isn't that like pure moonshine?
So I would say this. I would say that if maybe perhaps, because I don't want to say like, oh yeah, sure you can do it. Maybe perhaps he got drunk and he just started to
Oh,
drink it.
okay.
Uh,
God,
just,
man.
just a theory. Just saying. Maybe perhaps that could have been something, right? The question now loomed: how had Marks come in contact with such a deadly substance? How did methanol end up in his system? Was it an accident, a case of self-harm, or something more sinister? The answers have remained elusive, fueling speculation and many conspiracy theories. The onset of the official investigation would eventually begin, but it first highlighted the issues around the governance of Antarctic territory. That's what you were talking about earlier. The
Yep.
base and most American operations on the continent was located within the Rose Dependency territory belonging to New Zealand. Supplies to the station were also dispatched from here. This occupancy has not been questioned by the United States government, but it also has never been formally acknowledged. There were issues regarding which country would conduct the investigation, but it was ultimately determined that the New Zealand police would undertake the inquiries. Detective Senior Sergeant Wormold Grant at the New Zealand Police was assigned to the case under the direction of the Christchurch coroner, Richard McElroy. The U.S. did not object to this directive, and the investigation could proceed unhinged. One of Wormold's first lines of inquiry was to determine the intent behind Mark's death, specifically whether he had hurt himself, fallen victim to an accident, or been killed. Suicide was immediately ruled out. They said no, not it.
Okay.
Methanol consumption would have been a strange method of choice, and Marks had sought medical assistance once his symptoms had manifested. Once his symptoms had manifested, he had entered a new relationship which appeared to be going well, and his academic achievements had not declined. Which, if you're gonna self-harm, you're probably everything's gonna go
Slack.
downhill, right?
Yeah.
Work is gonna start suffering. The relationship is suffering. The girl broke up with you or something. You're depressed, something like that. Everything was going perfect. He just got engaged. He's engaged to this lovely lady. He's having a good life. So they're like, no, he didn't do that. Marks also had no financial issues that would have explained potential mental health difficulties. As a result, DSS Wormwood came to one clear conclusion: that Rodney Marks had unknowingly ingested the methanol, and a possible method in which this could occur was through deliberate poisoning. So now he's suggesting he's been poisoned.
Damn. And the plot thickens. You
Oh,
know, on top of that,
it gets really thick.
it on top of that, guys, look, it's like no one had jurisdiction over his body. It was too many people had jurisdiction. Like it's a jurisdiction nightmare. It's like
Yeah, because then it's like, well, who's going to take care of him?
He's an Australian citizen that died on a U.S. Observation post, right? A U.S. controlled observation post. And the nearest place they could ship him was New Zealand, which then took the control of the investigation. So it's like you have these three
It's so many moving parts
countries that are like, oh, what do we do? Like, who has jurisdiction over this? You know? Yeah. It's like Antarctica can't afford that heat. I know we're going crazy with the temperature puns.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh man.
But like they can't, that needs to stay functional. Like there can't be any kind of, oh no, there's a what is it? Controversy around an Antarctic scientific observation post, because then the spotlight's on them, right? It has to be somewhere else, and it's just like, wow, okay, it's pretty nuts. I mean, it is. What is it? The first murder in Antarctica?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I believe so. I believe that it is. Now that you said, okay, so at the end, I'm going to tell you about the station, because it's pretty interesting. It's very interesting. At the time, the news of Rodney Marks' death had leaked into the wider world, National Science Foundation released a statement proclaiming that his demise had been the result of natural causes. Wormel was keen to know the information that directed them to such a conclusion. He requested access to reports generated by internal investigations, as well as the names of other people stationed at the Munson Scott base at the time Marks had died. His requests were denied by both the NSF and Raytheon Polar Services, aka Stark Enterprises, who undertook some operations at the site. The NSF also stated that no such report existed. Interesting.
How convenient.
Right. Though Wormold found it difficult to imagine that to be the case. The United States Department of Justice also requested information from both organizations, who again denied the request. This led Wormold to conclude that pertinent facts about Rodney Marks' death were being withheld from the police and the coroner for unknown reasons.
Interesting. So
see how this thing gets even more like,
he died, and it's like
it keeps going. This is what, like, I'm writing this out and I'm like, okay, he died. Wow, why did he die? I'm trying to figure this out. Oh, it must have been this, must have been, and then it just keeps getting more and more. More doors start opening up.
Just like,
what happened?
Who are they to deny access? And it's like, holy shit, that's crazy. Like,
yeah.
Man.
So Wormel's request for the names of other staff at the base may have been denied, but the matter did not end there. Their names eventually became known after a roster of the station's staff was obtained over the internet, although by whom I cannot determine. 49 people were on the list, and most of them were American. Face-to-face access was clearly difficult, so an alternative method was devised. The New Zealand police constructed a questionnaire and sent it to everybody on the list. According to The Guardian, only 13 people responded. Wormel later told a local newspaper that he believed Mark's colleagues were hesitant to come forward out of fear of their employment would be threatened if they did. Obviously, I mean, yeah,
you
know, that's always a fear when you're dealing with big corporations.
Yeah, and
you know
probably
what I mean?
The people that made
I'm not naming any of them.
Yeah, and people that that go on these expeditions to Antarctica are not low on the totem pole. They're sending their higher ups. They're like 6-figure earners to those places.
Right.
So yeah, they're not risking that. I'm sorry.
The information from the questionnaires that were received was unfortunately minimal, leading to a vacancy of relevant leads on which to work. No kidding. There has understandably been a plethora of theories about force to potentially explain Rodney Marks' death over the years. One of the most prevalent ideas is that Marks may have accidentally consumed a fatal dose of methanol during the distillation process of homemade alcohol spirits. Such activity was reportedly common at the facility amongst the many scientists stationed there, despite the wild availability of alcohol drinks. So these scientists, being scientists, were doing some scientist shit, making their own alcohol.
When
Who
alcohol was
says scientist?
available.
Who says science is boring? Come
Exactly, right? Like,
on.
but then hear me out on this. With their scientific mind, they still consumed hooch, like poisonous hooch. Like,
Hey,
bro, where's your
they're living on the edge.
control?
They're living on
Where's
the
your
edge. They're living,
where's your scientific protocols? You got to have a control group and a test group. Like, God, man. All right.
So both methanol and ethanol, which is far less toxic, were used during this process. But both are colorless and almost entirely odorless. They may have been indistinguishable from one another, leading to a potential mix-up. This is Jesus, I can't talk right now. This is substantiated further at DSS Wormwood's investigation uncovered information that suggested Mark's laboratory workspace was disorganized and messy, supposedly. Bottles of lab agents were reportedly strewn between dozens of empty alcohol bottles, plus Marks had apparently been known to be a heavy drinker. If he had been slightly drunk at the time, the chance of him making a fatal mistake would have been increased. But could this explain how Marks came to ingest such a large quantity of methanol? That's just the question that keeps, that's always been asked. If he's such a scientist, he should know how to do this. How could he have ingested so much of this methanol? And like I said, I'm not saying that he did do it. I'm not saying that he didn't do it, but being being drunk, it's possible. Maybe he just,
Yeah.
being drunk, he's
If
like,
you're like
as
sails
the
in the
night's
wind.
going on,
Yeah.
he's just like, well, maybe I'll add a little bit more. Maybe I'll add a little bit more, and just throwing them back, and and I mean, I guess was he drinking by himself? Because I didn't see anything that when this happened that he would like drink with a bunch of people, or was
Yeah.
he just like sitting alone in his room? Was he maybe depressed?
I don't know, man.
They
You're
they don't
drinking
know.
ethanol or methanol alone? Yeah, you're probably not too happy.
Something. Perhaps, but there are issues with this theory. Marx was a qualified, experienced scientist. Those who knew him did not believe it was feasible that he would make such an error. Also, whilst methanol and ethanol have visible comparability, they are said to have distinct smells and tastes. Totally, they kind of one tastes a little different than the other. So
Okay.
Marx had confused the two. The alcohol should have tasted much different, making the mistake obvious. Does not preclude the possibility that an adverse taste was not detected, or that Marx may have made the error despite his experience. But it does suggest that accidentally poisoning may not be as clear-cut as a scenario as it may first seem. So yes, as you got more and more drunk, he probably was just like, fuck it, I'm drinking it.
Okay.
Maybe, possibly. Many people
Okay.
have speculated that Marx was, in fact, a murder victim. Was Marx intentionally poisoned? If so, who would have wanted him dead and why? Life at the station, while generally harmonious, could be stressful, and interpersonal conflicts were not unheard of. I mean, you're stuck in for 6 months in a box
In the dark.
in the dark. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
The media quickly ran with the story, suggesting that the case may have been the first killing at the South Pole. Others have agreed with such suggestion over the years, including DSS Wormwood, who has always remained steadfast in his belief that Marx unknowingly ingested the chemical. If Marx had been murdered, it would be difficult to construct a suspect pool or positive motive. The colleagues had been, or his colleagues, had been stationed with at the time have since scattered across the globe, and much time has passed since that day. Because of this, it is difficult to speculate whether this may or may not have been the case. We don't know what happened at the base in the days and weeks before Marks died, nor what happened afterwards. The accuracy of the theory, therefore, remains unclear, but it has not prevented it from becoming one of the most popular suggestions amongst those familiar with the case. So now let's discuss some of the strange theories surrounding the death of Rodney Marks. Right, you thought it was over. It's not, because there's all these theories. So some conspiracy theories argue that Mark's death was the result of a cover-up. Some suggest that Mark stumbled upon sensitive information, perhaps related to secret military or scientific projects in Antarctica, and was silenced to protect those secrets. They speculate that the U.S. Antarctic program or other entities involved in the station's operations might have surpassed critical information to avoid liability or scandal. This theory has gained traction among those who question the thoroughness of the investigation and the reluctance of some parties to release detailed records or more detailed information, if any at all.
Yeah. So
That's a lot.
the it's convenient that he either took the sewer slide way out,
Right.
or was accidentally deleted, right? If it was if he was just accidentally, or was it natural causes? Natural causes, right? It needs to be that, so the heat is not on these places.
Well,
It like,
it doesn't look like it's natural causes anyway.
no, but it needs to be either the sewer slide or natural causes, because if it's another one, which it never will be, there's too many
I,
eyes on that place.
I think what they try to point to is that it was an
Accidental.
accidental. Yeah.
Yeah,
He didn't do it to himself on purpose. He drank too much, and that was the thing that kind of got me too. That they kept saying is that he was a heavy drinker. He's an alcoholic, and I'm like, so this happy-go-lucky guy is somehow a raging alcoholic.
he's like, dude,
His studies, he does really well. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know that raging alcoholics. I've seen raging alcoholics work pretty well, and do a lot of things while being under the influence. But I'm still like, you're going to tell me he's this alcoholic that, you know, has a good relationship with his fiance, is doesn't have any, money issues. Uh, his life is just going good.
it doesn't match up. It doesn't
Yeah, it's just
usually,
kind of like
that
right,
doesn't usually make alcoholic. Those
right.
that formula does not
They're
equal alcoholic
they're not in
most of the
they're not on
time.
the same list.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Solid,
something's there.
solid financials, solid relationships, solid future, solid education does not usually equal raging alcoholic.
Right.
Um,
Because I mean, you figure if he's that big of an alcoholic, his fiance is going to be all over like, stop, it's too
yeah,
much. I can't do this. You're always drinking, you're always drunk. And he's probably, shut up, bitch.
and I
Not,
and I'm gonna say they have to do it like a psych eval before they even allow people on an expeditionary team to be in the dark with others for 6 months, because
I'm
of
sure there's something, and
there
I'm
has
don't
to
get me
be.
wrong. I'm pretty sure that some people that drink a lot probably are able to get through.
Mhm.
But when you're that much of an alcoholic, I don't, because to me anyway, it sounds like they keep saying like he's just this big alcoholic that he's going to be able to get a job there and last.
Yeah, I don't know. I see, the thing is, like, that is so far away from like my normal train of thought is anything to do with Antarctica, right?
Right. I can't even imagine going there.
I couldn't. That's just completely different. Like, I don't know what you would need to do. I don't know what you would need to prove. I don't know what you would need to be. I mean, obviously an astrophysicist. You know,
You
I
need
just
a
didn't
first you need an astrophysicist to get there.
yeah. I just didn't think astrophysicists got down like that at all. Like, I
Yeah,
just,
pretty weird, ain't it?
yeah,
they're,
not frat
they're a
boys.
fun bunch.
Like, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. You think they can do astrophysicist stuff while they're at work? Wait till they get off of work. They're doing all kinds of
It's like,
crazy
oh,
shit.
they study the stars because they're in the stars.
Yeah,
Like,
she's great. So a second prominent theory regarding Mark's death is that he deliberately consumed methanol. Living in such extremely remote regions brings with it the understandable sense of complete isolation and loneliness. For crews to depress this episodes, for crews to geez, I cannot read right now. I'm sorry. This is going to be edited out.
yeah,
All right. Anyway, that may lead to suicidal thoughts, right? So
yeah,
being in isolation and loneliness, they say that may lead to suicidal thoughts. Potential occupants at Antarctic research stations are reportedly physically and psychologically screened beforehand, like you were saying.
okay,
But the strength of these tests is not known. It has been speculated that Marks may have knowingly consumed methanol either to hurt himself or to become sick enough to be sent home. But again, this is problematic. Marks had spent time at the base before, so he was well aware of the effect of the location could have. Also, if he had wanted to be sent home, there were far easier ways to fake an illness to achieve this purpose. But perhaps the biggest problem with this theory is that Marks sought medical attention once his symptoms began. If he had knowingly consumed methanol, it is difficult to see why he would do this. Basically, this answers your question.
yeah,
Because it was like, when they go there, they're going to do these tests on them. He has been there before, so he knows what he's already getting himself into.
yeah. Yeah,
So,
he's done this thing before. He's not a noob
right.
at
It's not
this.
anything new to him. Plus, if he wanted to get sent home, there's easier ways for him to do that
Than dying.
than trying to hurt himself, right?
Yeah. And I didn't think things were coming. I didn't know there was a bus line to and from Antarctica. I
Well,
think I think it's
I'm
a
sure they're like
pretty
in certain situations, if they have to get somebody out of there, they'll get him out of there.
yeah.
And like I said, if he was trying to hurt himself, why would he seek medical attention?
Why would he go to the doctor?
Yeah,
You
three
know,
times.
and so hear me out on this. If you're making hooch in your toilet, right?
Hmm.
I mean, that's probably not the case. He probably had a more refined way of making his hooch, right? But I'm just saying he probably has done it before, and he's probably pretty damn effective at making it because he's a goddamn scientist,
Right.
like and if he doesn't know, someone else that has a drinking problem would know how to make hooch.
Right. Right.
Usually making hooch isn't a science thing. Like for science people, they usually have the money to buy the alcohol.
Well, I mean, I guess it's one of those like where you are, you're gonna do stuff to
Yeah, I guess.
stuff to get by. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, plot thickens. Some of Rodney's colleagues, already spooked by tales of strange phenomenon, began to wonder if his death was connected to the unexplained lights they had seen in the skies. These lights weren't auroras, they moved with purpose, like they were searching for something or someone. Supposedly, that's what has been said. One of the station's engineers who preferred to remain anonymous later claimed he saw Rodney acting strangely the night before his death. He had been muttering to himself, glancing nervously at the sky through the observation dome, and writing cryptic notes in a small journal. When the journal was later found, much of it was illegible. Much of it was they couldn't read it.
Yeah. Got it.
But a single word stood out, repeated several times. Visitors.
Oh my God.
It's always coming back to that. Some began to theorize that Ronnie might have seen something he wasn't supposed to. Was it possible he had encountered a UFO during this time at the South Pole? And could that encounter have led to his untimely death? The theory goes that Ronnie might have intercepted something unusual, whether a signal or a sighting. His sudden illness and death raised eyebrows among those who believe Antarctica could be a hub for extraterrestrial activity. The timing felt suspicious. Adding fuel to this fire is an unverified claim that Rodney had expressed unease about some of the things he was observing, according to a former colleague whose account surfaced online forums years later. So somebody that said that he worked with him was
Like came
online
forward.
in these forums years later came forward. Right. Rodney had confided about peculiar patterns. He noticed in his data that didn't align with known cosmic phenomenon. The nature of these patterns remains speculative, but they've been linked by theorists to possibly extraterrestrial intelligence. So possibly he was picking up some signal from outer space.
You know, that would do it, wouldn't it? That would do it. That would do it. That would send you over the edge anywhere you are. You have something that shakes your concept of reality in the most desolate and unforgiving place. That could put you over the edge really quick.
Yeah.
You know, I just feel like 100%. But there's always these stories. There's always these freaking stories of like sightings of UFOs or shit like that, like anywhere near Antarctica. Like it's always weird. Anytime you're near like the poles, anytime you're near the North Pole or South Pole, like I feel like weird activity is like the norm. You know, like there's
Yeah.
unexplained stuff. Like I don't know, like how so many people, let's say in the North Pole, like in let's say not North Pole, but Alaska, like Arctic, right? They go missing out of nowhere in the blue, you know, just gone. You know, there's a lot of weird stuff when you get closer to the poles. I want to say,
yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know what if it was something like UFOs. I mean, he could have thought he saw something. You know what I mean? Like if let's say did him seeing something weird or off or strange send him into a psychotic breakdown rapidly? You know, did that turn him to drink so much like that was monitoring this and he's like, okay, this is not right. This is something's really weird. I got to get a grip. And he just couldn't, you know.
Right.
But I feel like all that stuff is very noticeable. Like if you're going through it, if my job is to be next to you for 6 months in this confined space, I'm picking up on cues and clues every day. Like you know the people you work next to for 6 months when there's literally nothing else to do.
No,
Like,
you're with these people 24/7.
Yeah.
Whether it's
So
whether you guys are doing work or if it's in your leisure, you're around each other 24/7. All the time.
That's pretty crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
After Rodney's death, the station received an unusual visit. Now this is all speculative.
Okay.
A small team of men in unmarked black parkas arrived by plane, a rare occurrence in the harsh Arctic winter. They claimed to be investigators from a government agency but offered no credentials. According to some station personnel, they asked detailed questions about Rodney's work, his behavior, and any anomalous activity leading up to his death. One worker later claimed that these men confiscated Rodney's journal as well as several data drives from the telescope Rodney had been working on. When asked who they were, the men deflected, stating only that they were conducting a routine investigation. After their departure, the staff noticed that certain files related to Rodney's work had been wiped from the station servers. As quickly as they arrived, the men in black were gone.
Interesting.
Their departure was described as abrupt, with no clear documentation of who they were or why they were there. Some researchers speculated that their arrival had nothing to do with Rodney's death at all, that they were monitoring something else entirely, and his demise was a convenient cover for their real agenda. Among the more outlandish theories, right. See? Yeah.
Oh my God. They're like, someone's getting too close. We need to
Well,
go get this, or we need to go get this, and we need a reason.
Yeah.
So someone's got to take their banana shoes down the steps, and who's it going to be? And that gives them reason to go in and poke around.
Well, they got whatever information he had found.
Yeah. No,
They
okay.
didn't like go poke around the whole station. They went specifically to his area. What did he look at? What was he seeing? What was on his data drive? What notes, if any? What, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Files that he had. So let's go check it out. We're gonna go find him. We're gonna go pick it up. And why are
man.
you guys here? We're just trying to figure out what happened.
Yeah. Who are you? Don't worry about that.
Yeah, it's none of your business.
Yeah.
Okay, so among the more outlandish theories was the idea that Ronnie had stumbled upon evidence of extraterrestrial life. Some speculated that the research equipment designed to study deep space particles had accidentally intercepted signals or transmissions not meant for human ears. Did Ronnie uncover proof of alien communication? And if so, was his death an act of silencing him? Others went further, suggesting that Ronnie himself might not have been fully human by the end. One chilling theory claimed that he had been abducted during one of his solitary outings on the ice and returned altered. His death a result of his body rejecting whatever changes had been made to him.
Wow. So they thought he was body snatched.
The Thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Holy crap. Nah. You know what? Wait, he was allowed to go out alone?
I mean,
that's nuts.
I guess maybe. I don't
Like,
go
hey
out there
guys,
quite often.
hey guys, I want to go out for a walk. I'm gonna go hang out near the ice park. Like,
yeah.
what? What?
That drop off looks really cool. I'm gonna go sit over there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Just have a beer.
What?
It'll freeze in like
Jesus.
2 seconds when I open it.
Maybe that's why it was. That's why it was like hooch, because that's a higher alcohol concentrate. It doesn't freeze.
Hey, you know what? It could be. It could be.
Oh my god, though, that's wild. I don't know, because like, let's say you're studying something, and I really, the thing is, I don't know the scale of these research facilities. Like, are these massive compounds? Are these like pretty nut to butt kind of things? Are you squished up? Are these like?
No, I mean, okay. So I would assume that it's not that tight quarters. It's not like a submarine.
Yeah, yes. See, that's exactly what I'm thinking is like survival huts. Like you're cramped up.
Because you gotta have your. So I'm pretty sure they probably have like an area of they have a building where they're doing their research, where they got their telescopes and they got their computers and microscopes and whatever else, whatever the fuck scientists have.
Yeah.
All I know
lab
is
coats and mice.
Whatever, goggles for something. I don't know.
Tubes of liquid.
Right, and then they have their where they stay at.
Yeah,
they have their barracks.
Okay.
So I mean, it's not like it's like one big house and everything is like right in there. I'm assuming that it's like barracks are over here, their facility is over on this end.
Okay.
And I mean, like, they can't be too far apart because they fucking freeze to death out there.
Yeah.
But they're right in there. Probably where they have the where they stay at, they probably where their barracks, they probably have the kitchen and stuff like that. They get food and stuff.
Got it.
I mean,
okay.
In theory, that's what I'm thinking. Okay.
Yeah, not like some sort of submarine. Got it. Okay, because it's just hard for me.
Not a submarine where they like roll out of bed and they're like right on top of each other.
On top of the other. Yeah.
Yeah.
My thing is like, okay, if you're doing research and let's say I'm next to someone, right? They're in the same lab and I catch something alien, I'm gonna be like, holy shit. I'm not gonna be calm, cool, and collected.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be freaking out. And everyone around me is gonna be like, what happened? I'm like, did you see this? Did you know this?
Right. I'm sure they had elbow space. I'm sure they had elbow space.
Okay. Man.
Again, I haven't been there. I haven't walked the premises, so
yeah.
But that's what I'm thinking. So a couple things also were so during World War II, rumors surfaced that the Nazis had established a secret base in Antarctica to conduct advanced technology experiments, including developing flying saucers. Though widely debunked, the myth persists and has fueled speculation about alien activity on the continent. Also, that's where Steve Rogers was frozen and found decades later to be Captain America.
Facts. Facts.
Okay,
But
they found him.
No, I was just saying. Also, it was such a myth that the U.S. sent like an expeditionary force to Antarctica for that reason.
Right, yeah,
For
yeah.
not Steve Rogers, but for the Nazis.
Well, somebody had to defeat the Nazis. Who was going to do it but Steve Rogers?
Yeah, you got it.
So Operation High Jump. In 1946 to 1947, the U.S. military conducted a large-scale Antarctic expedition called Operation High Jump. While officially a scientific and exploratory mission, conspiracy theorists argue that it was actually an attempt to investigate or confront extraterrestrial phenomena. What the story goes. Strange structures and anomalies. Satellite imagery has occasionally revealed odd, unexplained structures beneath the ice, including what some interpret as pyramids. Although most are natural formations, these discoveries add to the mystique of the region. It's also how they did find Captain America frozen in the ice.
Yep. You know what though, man? There's there has to be some shit that is underneath that ice.
Oh,
Like,
come on!
I know,
It definitely is.
I know that sounds crazy, but it's like there's land underneath there. There's
got to be something,
massive.
Right?
It's a continent.
Didn't they like dig 100 miles into the ice and brought up ice that's like 1,000,000 years old?
I have no idea.
I thought that's what they had said.
Well,
like recently.
But hear me out. Aren't there some maps that show like plant life on Antarctica?
Yeah,
like,
and
old maps.
Yeah, like I think at some point it was lush, fertile,
like,
green.
That's absolutely crazy.
It's
during the time during the time that humans were alive, right? There was a chance that it could have had life like that. That's not too like in the history of human beings, that is not that far back. That's not that far back, especially for some of these ice samples that they claim to be millions of years old.
Mm-hmm.
How do you explain millions of years old when there's fucking maps with vegetation and shit that's pretty mapped out?
It's crazy, right? Skeptics point out that there's no hard evidence to support claims of UFOs, aliens, or Men in Black involvement in Rodney's death. Supposedly. All I'm saying, it's not out of the realm of possibility. They argue that the isolated and psychological taxing environment of Antarctic naturally breeds paranoia and conspiracy theories. The unusual lights and sounds reported by researchers could easily be explained by natural phenomena such as auroras, ice shifts, or wind patterns. Again, supposedly. Could be UFOs.
I could get that. Auroras, I could see that. I could see auroras like you're near the magnetic South Pole and I could understand that. We haven't had our time there yet where it's like this is normal. Like what's normal? You're only here for 6 months at a time.
Right.
And we just kind of started going there. It's not like we have thousands of years of history right there in Antarctica studying it. I mean, it could be the norm, right?
Could be.
But it's just very odd, man. It's just very odd. And the people that how many people? Like 50 people? Is that what you said? 50 people?
Including Marks, there was 50.
50 people.
Right.
And what were they supposed to be doing? What was the purpose of their mission?
I mean, I guess they just go up there to do some research on
individually,
probably. I'm guessing. if you know what they're doing up there, don't kill me in the comments saying like, "Oh, you should know. You don't know."
Yeah.
No, I don't fucking know because I'm not a scientist that goes to Antarctica
Yeah.
and South Pole and shit. All I know is that
we checked out a
this is
murder.
the
We
story,
checked out a
man.
murder. We didn't know.
Yeah,
We didn't know
yeah.
what they were writing.
Not writing a fucking essay about what scientists do in the South Pole.
Yeah.
So, however, skeptics also acknowledge that the incomplete investigation and delayed autopsy leave room for lingering doubt. Could key evidence have been overlooked or suppressed? Daniel?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think but from the time he died to the time his body was
6 months,
shipped,
man.
yeah, 6 months.
6 months.
Like, you talk about a time to clean up a crime scene, I'm pretty sure it takes less than 6 months. You know? And listen, you can get 49 people to tell the same story.
Yeah, of course.
Especially if you're all employed by the same people. Yeah. That's a very real possibility.
Yeah. So Rodney Marks' death remains one of Antarctica's greatest mysteries. While the official explanation points to methanol poisoning, the lack of clarity around how and why it happened continues to fuel speculation. Whether he was the victim of an accident, foul play, or something more extraordinary may never be known. And that, my friends, is the story of Mr. Rodney Marks.
Man.
Antarctica's coldest case.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
And on a side note, before we wrap up, it's pretty interesting once you see the players, the companies that sent these guys out there.
Stark Enterprises. We talked
Yeah.
about that. Yeah.
Yep. Stark Enterprises rhymes with Maytheon.
Laytheon,
and
yep.
Maytheon and Smithsonian.
Right. Oh yeah. Right. Yeah. The Smithsonian was involved. I think it was Smithsonian. Dude, I swear, I want to say they're just like a face. They're like a cover for something else.
Dude.
A side note after that too. The station's doctor, Dr. Thompson, his whereabouts has remained unknown.
Of course. I'm just saying, when you work, and now when we say Stark Enterprises, we're talking about Iron Man 1 Stark Enterprises. The first Iron Man Stark Enterprises. No, sorry. Tony Stark's father's Stark Enterprises.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Not the Go Green Stark Enterprises. Okay. We're talking about that. So it's just interesting when you have Maytheon and fucking Smithsonian working together.
It's weird. It's weird. When we were digging this up and I was looking through some of the stuff and I was like, holy heck.
Yeah. It's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, man. But for real though, it's just weird. It's just Antarctica is just so alien. I know it sounds crazy. It was just so out there. So
it's just this big. Honestly, it's a continent. It's an empty continent
of ice.
There's very few people. I mean, few people. Like, there's more people in your hometown where you live at right now than there is in Antarctica right now.
Well, for sure.
You know?
I feel like the list of people that have set foot in Antarctica is, I would say, has maybe hit 1,000, maybe less. Maybe. I don't see it being more than in the tens of thousands.
I think a lot of people do go up there, like in groups, not for like vacation or anything like that, but for like this type of stuff. And I know, like, before, people would go like, man, I mean, what is it? The
to
20s,
explore
30s,
in Antarctica.
That was like explore was like this big thing, you know?
Man, but there has to be so many secrets Antarctica has.
People
hiding.
like wised up and were like, I'm not gonna go treachering through Antarctica for what?
All I know is if we can just drop some rods of God out there in Antarctica, that'd be great. Let's just see what's underneath all that ice. just
Oh my
once.
goodness. Oh my
Like
goodness.
like
The
Project
thought,
Icarus, get like the sunbeam, just a fucking. We need
just
one spot. We need one
yeah,
spot.
and
In
like
our
there's like a whole city underneath of it.
yeah. Like, oh my god.
It's like
Oh,
when you pick up a rock and like there's all the ants underneath. You just move it and they
it's
just
like,
like scatter.
exactly, man. You melt the ice, you're like, oh shit, that's Atlantis. You know, like oh
Yeah,
fuck.
could be. It could be. Maybe that's Atlantis. Maybe that's
That's
what
what
it
I'm
is.
saying. That's
Um,
crazy, man.
yeah. Yes, yeah. So Rodney Marks found the Submariner,
Yeah.
Namor.
Holy crap, man.
That's what killed him.
Jeez.
Sorry,
Man.
comic book nerd. Daniel, thank you so much for joining us on this adventure to Antarctica
Yep.
and beyond. And thank you guys for sticking around and listening to this, our ramblings. Again, please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, do all that stuff. We appreciate you guys. We hit over 100 subs.
Yep.
You know, let's keep it going, guys. Yeah. So stay
Yeah.
tuned. We're gonna have some stuff coming up about when those files drop. We're definitely gonna look into that.
Yes. We have
Maybe
to.
depending on when they've come out. Maybe have a live.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that'd be good. So we'll
That'd be
see what
fun.
happens. Thank you guys again for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. Daniel appreciates it.
Yep.
It's fun. I love coming up with these stories and just
Let us know.
babbling my
Yeah,
ass off for an
let us
hour.
know what you think, guys. For real. For real,
Yeah.
man.
Did he just was he just clumsy and died of alcohol poisoning, or was it something else? Did he find
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
I think he
Well,
found something.
and honestly, I just don't know how there were so many flamethrowers in the thing.
And they still couldn't kill it.
Yeah, but there's an awful lot of flamethrowers in
Yeah.
that movie. Like an overwhelming amount of flamethrowers. Like an unusual, like rivaling a Vietnam movie. There were that many.
Right, yeah.
Like,
You
holy
think Charlie was in there?
shit, Charlie? Like, no, we're in Antarctica. Like, damn. Anyway.
Thanks again, everybody, for joining us. We appreciate it. We love you guys, and please keep supporting the F-House. Remember, keep an open mind. Come back again.
And stay alive.
Yeah, stay alive. Yeah. Don't go to Antarctica.
Yeah, don't go to Antarctica.
All right, man. We'll see you later.
Later,
Peace.
In a world of shadows and hidden truths, we search for answers, we chase the clues.